What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Underdog Fantasy Best Ball Mania show here on RotoGrinders. I am Britt Devine, here with Chopper, a true man of RotoGrinders, a workhorse here behind the scenes. Chop filling in for Mr. Eric Crane. Chop, welcome back.
Ready to do some best ball drafts. This is just what I like, a little August best ball.
Yeah, this is great. Have you been rolling? So I'm like an addict to these things. I got FanDuel, DraftKings, Underdog, Drafters. I got them all going all the time. I have like 50 best ball drafts going on right now. It's nuts. Literally every 30 seconds, I got to make a pick, it feels like.
Yeah, I'm not quite that into it, but I've done some Underdog. I've done some Underdog drafts. It's pretty cool app.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't aware, we are in the $25 Best Ball Mania 30-second fast draft. If you want to get into that and participate on the show with us, you can. If you are new, you're like, hey, what's best ball? What's Underdog Fantasy? They are from the makers of the Draft app. You know, we've had that over the past couple of years, $1 million best ball championships. This particular tournament we're in today, $1 million the first, $25 entry, $200K first place. Plays out pretty much the same. A great tournament. You can download it on your app store, on Google or iPhone, or go to underdogfantasy.com to join. So Chop, how I've been doing best ball. I've been looking at NFL Dynasty. I do this like all year round here today. What are a couple? I haven't heard any Chop takes on football season this year. What do you think's going to happen?
I'm just hoping we get a full season without too much of an interruption. That'd be a good start. But what do I think is going to happen? I think the Cowboys are going to dominate offensively, and I think it's going to be a good season for them. And I think when it's all said and done, they'll be in the Super Bowl, and I think they'll be playing the Baltimore Ravens off of a very strong year from Lamar and Marquise Brown. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but those are the teams I got going in all the way.
I like your Cowboy. You can get a Cowboy stack on Underdog. Reasonable, if you get Dak and Amari, and you can mix in. You like Lamb or you like Gallup out there? Which one of those two you got?
Oh man, I definitely like. See, the problem is every week is going to be somebody different, and it's great for best ball if you're stacking. Not so good if you have to go in there and make your picks, on a weekly head-to-head thing, because they're all good. I think every week is going to be somebody different, but if you had to twist my arm, I think CeeDee Lamb is going to surprise a lot of people this year.
Yeah, he projected to be one of the better prospects we've seen in a couple of years at the wide receiver position. So I like the Cowboys call quite a bit. Again, guys, I'm going to show you how to get into the draft that we are on here on RotoGrinders. So right in the lobby on Underdog Fantasy, this big thing, Best Ball Mania, $25. This is the one we're in. Hey, right, you can put 150 entries into this. If you didn't win the Millionaire Maker, like Mr. Millionaire over here, Chop, right? They got the small baller. They got the bubble for $5. You can mess around in that if $25 is a little bit too high for you. But for this particular show, we are going to do the $25 Best Ball Mania. We are in the 30-second per pick. If you like the slow drafts, that's what I typically like to do when I'm not on the shows. You get 4 hours per pick, right? So you just sort of pick as you get alerted to make your pick. I think it's a great way to do it. They didn't have this on draft, the ability to do both of them. So being able to do both slow and fast, I think is a great addition this year on Underdog. So let's see here. How much? I got to find my draft here. We need one more to start. Someone sacrifice your $25 to the Underdog gods, and we will get this going. And we're about ready to have some fun here. Chop, I've asked a couple of the other people I've done these shows with. What pick, if you could pick anywhere in the draft, where do you want to start?
That's a good one. But I would say go ahead and give me, no later than 3.
Yeah, I think anyone who says they want anything other than the 101, I think is lying. But yeah, I think 3, 4. Give me 4, 5, 2. Give me like Kamara. Give me Dalvin Cook. I think you can mix those two in. I think you're looking pretty good here today. Unfortunately for me, I just get the back end of these time after time. And you got the total. You're on the turn, but not the good one, Chop. You are the 112, 201. Not bad. You can actually create some stacks on that, right?
I don't like that. Man, I don't like that spot.
It's not bad, right? The only thing, if you want a stack, you can get it from that spot because it's there. It's sitting in front of you. No one's going to pick in between your two picks. So it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm the 110. That's probably the most garbage spot. And again, thanks to everyone for playing along on the show here today. Let's see here. What do we got going? Let's see if I recognize anybody in here. Devo, is that Devin or is that somebody else? Is Devin fighting against us here, Chop? It is not Devin, so he's not in here. But again, thanks to everyone for drafting along. Chop, you're at the 112. Who are some guys you think you might be able to get there?
Contrary to what the people said many a years ago and how they, running backs don't matter and 0 running backs and all that. I love to get me some running backs early. So that's why that spot really doesn't. The really good running backs will be gone. But if there's anything on the board at the running back position that I feel good about, I'll take 2 of them right there. I really want to get my running backs early and get those out the way because I feel like there's just a big drop-off, just such a big drop-off to a certain point where some of these guys I don't want to touch. I don't want to take the Todd Gurley and below range.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to have at least one really, really good back and one pretty adequate back. And so that's a tough spot to be in. So I'm looking for a running back, but we'll see.
You might get like a Miles Sanders, Joe Mixon, Kenyon Drake, Josh Jacobs, 2 of those. But I'm going to take one of them before they get to you because I also agree with the going running back heavy. It needs to start. It's just if you don't, I have seen a couple where like Michael Thomas and Devontae Adams fall to that turn spot for you. That's basically the only way I would consider not doing it, but it's half PPR. I think I still want to get the running backs in here. I'm coming up in a second. No surprise. Running back, running back, running back, running back. When do the running backs stop? Who bites on Michael Thomas?
Another running back. Thomas or those guys are bad at all. Those are really good picks, but God, I feel like you need a running back. You don't want to have to depend on some injury-prone guys.
And Thomas was, at least in full PPR, he was like 100 points better than every other receiver last year. That ain't going to happen this year. I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that he doesn't just run away at the position here. So there he goes off the board, which is fine for me because that means I'm going to get my boy Miles Sanders dealing with a lower body injury. That's great. Give me a small injury in camp. Right, that just prevents his ACL from blowing out in the preseason, even though there's not in the rest of camp. So give me Miles Sanders, looking for him to go back into the season, pretty strong there. Chop, you're coming up, getting dicey on your running back positions here.
You got me, man. I was gonna take Kenyon Drake, but I'll go for. Now we're in a tough position now. This is the worst spot for me to be in. I'll go with a running back because I feel like I have to have one right here. I don't want to – by the time it comes back to me, I'll never get a good one.
Going down the board on Eckler.
But those other guys don't interest me at all, So I'm going to have to reach out for a wide receiver now and just take a really solid one who can score touchdowns. But, like, right there, I want another running back, but I don't believe in Josh Jacobs. Nick Chubb, I really think, loses a lot of snaps this year. He's got Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones could be in trouble too from a snap perspective. He thrived on touchdowns. Those touchdowns may not be there this year. Not with A.J. Dillon there. You never know. So
I'll take your boy Josh Jacobs, just pure running back. I think he's in line for. I actually like the Raiders' offense. I think Henry Ruggs. They really added a lot of receivers. They still had Darren Waller. You got Ruggs. You got Brian Edwards as the talk of the town. A nice late dart throw. He's been starting to rocket up the ADP boards quite a bit. I'm not expecting them to win the Super Bowl or anything, but I think the Raiders might have a competent offense this year.
Yeah, I don't know. It all starts with the quarterback.
I mean, I'd take him over, right? The other one, I agree with your Aaron Jones, him or Aaron Jones, and I agree completely. Aaron Jones, right? You got Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. He just drafted Derrick Henry, right? He drafted A.J. Dillon. I see Aaron Jones, all those touchdowns, all those receptions he was getting, right, when a lot of the receivers were out, those are going to come way back. So I see Aaron Jones. I don't even know if I'd take him in the top two rounds here.
I mean, if he comes back to me, that would have been great, but he's gone.
No, he's gone. If he gets a new contract, maybe. But then again, maybe if he gets a new contract, they don't want to sign him or play him as much. I don't know. It's real tough spot for him this year.
Yeah, that's he's one of the guys that I don't necessarily want to spend up on here.
Let's see. So we got going on here. So I want to What I want to do is I like taking a look at what the 101 teams look like because I feel it really is. It's like cheating if you get the 101. It's not as cheating as it used to be. You used to be able to get CMC, and in these big tournaments, right? If I got CMC, I'm probably only going 4 max running backs because I'm expecting Christian McCaffrey to score me 25 fantasy points every week, and if he doesn't, guess what? I'm not going to win the whole thing anyway. So you can go a little bit lighter on that, and you can get like a Mahomes and Kittle, right? Literally, you can get 3 players who are likely to lead their position in fantasy points. I mean, those teams just look so juicy if you're able to pull something like that up. Like, he's going to have his choice of quarterback. Can't get Kittle. Kittle's already gone, but he can get a Godwin. He can get Kenny Galladay. He has his pick of, like, whichever receiver he wants here. Those teams just look so good.
You would take a quarterback right here?
If I had McCaffrey, I probably would, yes, because the ability to get 3 players at 3 positions that could legitimately lead their position in scoring, I think trumps basically anything else you can
do. Okay. I would probably disagree, but that's what makes it a draft, I guess.
Hey, if you take Lamar, I guess you can get your Marquise Brown the next time you're up there.
Maybe some people stretch on you. Some guys are out there and they just want to block your stacks. That's what they do. Well, I like that DJ Moore pick though.
Yep, I love Moore. I love that Carolina offense. Really, the cheaper pieces, right? You can get Teddy Bridgewater. He's going to have to get Bridgewater because he's got CMC and DJ Moore. So he's definitely, if he's going to want Teddy Bridgewater, reach for him because other people will. If you go in the later rounds, you get like a Curtis Samuel or a Robbie Anderson and Bridgewater, you can get a little something happening there too.
Yeah. You look at the guy and, he's got a good team like that. I'll block him later. I'll stretch for Bridgewater even though I don't want him as early. I'll stretch just to block him off. Yeah, if I have to face off against this guy later on, I don't want him having that full stack against me anyway.
Yeah, we're duking it out for 13 weeks. The good thing, the top 2 advance in each league. So it's usually, right, you got to win your first little 12-man league. Now, the runner-up, the second-place team also moves on to the playoffs in these things too. So you don't have to ship the whole first 2 weeks. I mean, you still have to put yourself a pretty good team, but you can get a little unlucky here and there, still come in second and advance to the playoffs and get into the money round. So it's not I actually like that quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to do it.
Yes, sir. All right, where are we at here?
All right. I'm coming up. I got Jacobs and I got Sanders chopped. All right, they got bye week 6 and 9. Nice. Probably Todd Gurley. No, you out on Todd Gurley? You already dissed him. I'll leave him for you.
Well, the thing about him is he's in a really good spot. This is a really good offense for him just to rack up touchdowns, but I still have that image in my head of him just being so immobile and having the knee injuries. It's just tough for me to take a guy like that, but he's in as good of a spot as he's going to get. So I don't think it's terrible.
I think I'm going to have the next pick here. There's just the wide receivers in this tier are really good. I might just go 2 wide receivers here. Evans just went off the board. So I'm going to actually I'm going to take Chris Carson. He's a guy I expect to get plenty of work. I don't see Russ cooking at all. I see that defense being pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take Chris Carson, and I'll let you you can debate Mr. Todd Gurley or Leonard Fournette. Both, like, a lot of down talk on both of those guys in the industry.
Oh, buddy. I just got sniped, man. Big time.
You wanted Odell?
Yeah, I wanted Odell. But
I am out on Odell, basically. If Odell has a great season, I am going to hurt in best ball.
Yeah, I got 2 picks here. This is a tough one. I just don't want to leave myself with no running backs. So I'm going to take one right there.
I wanted David Johnson.
Let's see here. I could take another one, but the only one that's even vaguely interesting is Gurley. I don't know if I want to do that, so take another good receiver.
Yeah, the receiver board is stacked. I love Allen Robinson.
Yeah, let's go Allen Robinson. And now I get to kick back and do nothing for like 5 minutes.
Who's starting? I don't think anybody knows yet. Is it going to be Trubisky or Foles? If you guess right on your Allen Robinson stack, like you can get a quarterback on your last pick of the drafter.
No, it's definitely Nick Foles' year to start.
I'm going to take. I like Mr. Robert Woods. I think the Rams' offense is going to be clicking, and I think he's going to be the number one wide receiver in that offense. So I'll start off with that and try to get me some Jared Goff maybe a little bit down the road. You got any takes on the Rams' offense?
Better than last year. Probably, well, an upgrade at running back for sure. It's going to make them pretty good. Uh, the tight ends, I'm not touching. A lot of love for Higbee, but I'm not touching that. And I think it's Cooper Kupp again. I've seen enough out of him for the few years he's been in the league to know that he's the number one guy there. And then after that, I'd be on Robert Woods. But I think it's a nice year for them in general, bounce back for their skill position guys.
Yeah, we got to see, do they run the 12 personnel with the two tight ends, or are they going to, and two receivers, or are they going to spread it out three wide with one of the tight ends out there? I think they mixed it up a little bit. They were pretty much always running that the three wide with Gurley. Teams sort of figured it out. They had to go to two tight ends a little bit. But I don't know. I like Woods. Woods just performs every single year. I'm going to take him over Kupp. Kupp's still sitting here, which is a little surprising to me. But there he goes off the board. There's just this entire list of wide receivers. Maybe there's like one I probably wouldn't want in this type of tournament here. It's just this is the time to get your receivers.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. S-Wolves has got McCaffrey.
I think that's a little bit early on Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt is just getting all the talk of the town, but that is probably too early. Like, I think, maybe not, right? If
fourth round is early, man.
Yeah, I would have taken one of the receivers, I think. I probably would have preferred Bell, maybe Montgomery. Just running back just drops off the board quick.
Man, I don't know. This man's got that number one spot is shaping up good. He got a really good tight end. Oh, I think that may be the one that decides it right there, DeAndre Swift.
I like Swift. The problem is they want to still play Kerryon Johnson, I think, but Swift is an undeniable better talent in, I think, every facet of the game, athleticism, than Kerryon Johnson after all those injuries he's had.
That's why, if that pans out the way it could, the upside with Christian McCaffrey and the rest of that game, that's going to be really good. But he could also nullify his Christian McCaffrey pick if that doesn't pan out. And DeAndre Swift is another guy who's had, you mentioned Kerryon with injuries, but he's had some bad injuries too. He suffered a lot of injuries last year in college. So if that doesn't pan out, then you just wasted a fifth round pick and you maybe brought yourself back to the field here.
What do you think is going to happen? You're a big college football guy. What's going to happen with all this college football moving into NFL in the spring? What's your thoughts on that overall?
It's just a messy situation, and what's going to happen is that you're going to have like 3 or 4 or 5 conferences playing in the fall, and then some conferences are going to entertain the idea of playing in the spring, but it may not be. The juice may not be worth the squeeze, and I don't know if that's going to happen in the spring. So, but we'll have something in the fall. It'll just be a little bit more limited. But spring, I just don't think they're going to do it in the spring. There's too many things working against them to do it in the spring. But
like if you're Justin Fields and Ohio State ain't playing till the spring, you're not taking a snap in the spring, are you?
No, most of those guys, anybody with a nice grade going into the NFL draft won't play. There's no reason to play, and just the conferences themselves. I don't know. I don't know what TV money looks like. I don't know what the TV contracts look like, but it seems like there's a real conflict of interest that could happen with college basketball TV and now all of a sudden college football TV at the same time, which we've never had before. I don't know. I'm not the expert there, but we'll see.
All the running backs. I just got sniped on all my running backs. My wide receivers got sniped. Not looking good over here. Everyone's too good. Oh, man. Sneezing on everybody as well.
You got to mute that one, man.
I had no time. I'm in the middle of a pick.
You got to mute, man. They took Marquise Brown from you. I know you wanted him.
I'm going to take Zach Ertz. I'm going to lock up a high-volume tight end. Everyone I wanted, literally, Marquise Brown, David Montgomery, Devontae Parker, Shark, Fuller, everyone literally just got taken right in front. Everyone's too sharp.
They are good. Oof.
There goes Sutton. All right. Chop on the clock. Eckler, David Johnson, Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson. I like your start, Chop. Don't mess it up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mess it up.
Akers.
I would say Akers is he's a really good running back with a lot of skill, playing for a head coach that really knows, as we've seen, how to get his running backs the best out of them. So I'm good with that. Man, this next one is tough. It may be
Iggs.
I mean, I'm
Is he good? It's tough here, right? Because he should emerge as the number one wide receiver, I believe, in Buffalo. I think he's got a good chance.
We get him away from Adam Thielen, so he's got more of a chance there. He's an upgrade from the guys they've had over there in Buffalo. I like John Brown, but he's clearly an upgrade over John Brown. So we'll see, man. That's just a tough area because you're picking now, and as you can see, like all the receivers kind of look the same to me. Like there's nobody that stands out there. Keenan, Gallup, AJ Green, Jarvis, they're all the same. So what do you do?
I took Ronald Jones just to get myself another running back I think is going to have a good amount of touches, at least to start the year. I think he's pretty much locked into that at least rushing role there in Tampa Bay, and I think that Tampa offense is going to score some points. I'm probably not going to take a running back now for like 8 rounds. I got 4, probably roll out with 5.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know. I got 3 running backs. I don't think you could ever have enough good running backs. So if a good one gets back to me, I'll take him. But I don't know. So many these picks, like when you're on the back end here and you got to wait 22 picks, you just don't know. You just don't know what's going to be left. So I can't even try to guesstimate right now. There's just so much left.
I usually take my guys or I reach for like a stack or something. When you go to pick a quarterback, try to get a receiver with that quarterback at some point in time, even if you got to reach a little bit, because that's probably your best shot. You're the only spot in the draft other than the one, right, that has the ability. If you want to stack, you can get it because you can get 2 picks in a row. So use it to your advantage. I do like a couple of the receivers that'll be available in like 10 picks or so. So I'm hoping a couple of them stick around. The running back situation, there's still a lot. What do you make of the Washington situation with Antonio Gibson, Bryce Love, Adrian Peterson? You got J.D. McKissick out there as well, Peyton Barber. I mean, what do you handle now that Geis is I think Geis's career is basically done in the NFL, right?
There's 3 guys there. The Peterson, Bryce Love, Antonio Gibson are the guys that I'm looking at there. Peterson still has something left, so if that's what they choose to do is go with the older guy, and there's still something there in his leg, so that's fine. Obviously the hot guy is Antonio Gibson, but again, he's not a real, I don't think he's a straightforward running. I don't know if they're going to use him, just put him in the backfield, hand the ball off to him. I think he's more of a gadget guy. Mm-hmm. A great athlete in college, but he was more of a gadget guy there. And I don't know, man. We may be reaching for him too early in some of this stuff. But
seems like people are avoiding, or quarterbacks are just, these guys, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, these guys were 5th round picks a month or 2 ago. Maybe not a month ago, but basically when Underdog launched. Now they're like 7th-round picks. Everyone's just taking all the good players. Everyone's waiting on quarterbacks. Everyone's getting the stacks that they want.
Yeah, so maybe we gotta.
There goes Watson and Wilson back to back. I was hoping to get one of those.
I'd be at this point, considering I got Diggs, I'd be happy with Josh Allen if he came back to me right here, and I'd buck the trend. And even though I don't like taking quarterbacks at this point, I'd do it just because I think you're already behind the 8 ball when you draft that deep in the first round, 11 or 12. Man,
so there goes Deontay. I'm going to go ahead. All right, I need some home run hitters. Let's go and take Marvin Jones. Hopefully he can have – what did he score, like 8,000 fantasy points in one game last year and had none the rest? I think that was basically his game log.
He's high upside for a week or two.
All right, chop back on the clock. Pretty balanced, 3-3. Got Josh Allen.
See what else we got here. Oh, I don't want that one.
I'm going to give you some bad news on the Bills stack here in just a second, though, Chop.
Oh, you got some schedule stuff going on?
Schedule nonsense for you.
I'm stretching right there, but I'm going for it.
Did you get your pick here? So I like – oh, yeah. You got CD? I like that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take – I just need running backs. I'm going to take Crowder. I think he's pretty clearly the number 1 receiver for the Jets, and he was like a top 24 wide receiver last year. And I just need guys who can get me some points at receiver right now. So the Bills, Chop, I got some bad news. They're the only team in the best ball tournaments around the industry I'm avoiding because Allen and the Bills, they will get you to the playoffs, which ain't the worst thing in the world.
Okay,
right?
What you got? Come on.
Looking pretty good. Schedule, week 14, home against the Steelers, who probably have one of the best defenses in the league, right? I think we can agree on that. Then – east to west, they got to go to Mile High. They got to go out to Denver against a really good defense out there. Week 16, when all the money's on the line, Chop, you think Bill Belichick's going to let them in Foxborough have a big game?
You know, that's first off, I don't like to do the whole playing guessing on the defense this early.
It's the only team where I'm like, man, that looks real bad.
Well, we don't know what New England's going to be at all. New England could be really bad on defense this year. They've got a lot of starters sitting out of the season this year. So New England is a total up in the air team. The other one, Steelers, do look good, but I just always found it was a little bit early to try to guess on the defenses. There's so much change from year to year that I like to like when I do my home league, you know. I'll see how the defenses are shaping up in the first 7 or 8 weeks. Then I'll start to try to make trades for the playoffs. But trying to do it this early, I don't really believe. Yeah, hit me. Maybe I have those 2 weeks, but yeah, I'll have another quarterback in here that I'll take in a little bit, and hopefully they kind of fill the gap there. But like you said, man, if they get me just to that point.
Their early season schedule is nice. I'll give you that. They'll get you a lot of points in the beginning of the season. I'm going to give you the opposite of the Bills. You ready for this? I'm going to give you the Eagles. So you guys out there, if you want to stack up for the playoffs, tell me if you're going to find anything better than this. You get to play the Saints at home week 14. You go to Arizona week 15, and week 16, you said that Cowboys offense is going to be pretty good. How about in a dome against the Cowboys week 16? That's basically the nut playoff schedule I got for you as the Eagles.
Cowboys will shut them out.
Shut them out? Yeah. Homer pick. Yeah, but that Eagles, I'm probably, if Wentz gets to me, I'm going to take him. I got Ertz. I think a couple, maybe I would reach for Deshaun Jackson, or did he already go? Is this just like crazy? Someone already took Deshaun Jackson? I guess so, yeah. Someone just took Deshaun Jackson, which is crazy. But it's a lot harder to get stacks than it used to be in the first couple weeks of this. Breda going this late, I love. I think that's a great pick, 4th and inches. If you guys are in chat too, if any of you guys are out there, right, hit us up in chat. We will participate. We're just drafting, having a good time here. my Truly Blitz. I don't have my Truly lemonade downstairs. I left it there. I just got my glass of water, but we're having fun here, watching some basketball, drafting on Underdog, having ourselves a good afternoon. So feel free to hit us up and chat with any questions. I'm coming up here. All right, let's see. Sanders, Ertz. Wentz gets to me. I'm probably going to take Wentz. There's some good running backs. There's definitely a couple wide receivers I want. A couple tight ends. Higbee was interesting. He just went off the board. There goes Lindsey. I got Sanders chop. I got Ertz. I'm taking Carson Wentz. Give me to the playoffs. That playoff run looks pretty good.
Yeah, you won't make it. Wentz will break his back. He'll break his back. Like
I got to be top 2 in the league. I can do that.
He's not good. Okay, where are we at here? I got back-to-backs.
Yeah, I got this seems like everyone.
This seems like a really good. This is what I like to do with my back-to-back picks right here. Is I like to go ahead and lock up my 2 tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is going to be this guy Hayden Hurst,
who
I think is in a good spot. And the other one's a toss-up. Don't want Hunter Henry because that nullifies it. Doesn't got the same bye week. Plus, I think he's a toss-up. I'm going to go with a little upside here. A little bit riskier than Jared Cook, but a little bit more upside on Gesicki. So we'll take Gesicki there.
Yeah, I think that's good. Create some urgency at the position. Put the pressure on your opponent's chop to make mistakes at the turn by double tapping a position.
Yep, knock it out. Then if I don't want to have to worry about tight end the rest of the way, I don't have to because I got 2 guys.
You got different bye weeks. Okay. Always check the bye weeks. You're good.
Correct.
All right, I'm going back to receiver. You had Allen Robinson. I love Anthony Miller this year. I think I own him in basically every draft. He was killing it at the end of last year. He's like the clear number 2, and there is no one else in that passing game. Maybe Tariq Cohen out of the backfield. Anthony Miller, if that shoulder holds up, that dude is going to have a good season. So I think I just got a steal of the draft right
there. Yeah, well, maybe. So that means that you'll be in line to get you some Nick Foles then later on.
I don't know if I can. That could just be a complete wasted pick though. Like if you get the wrong end of that, it feels so crappy to just take someone could be a complete. I mean, it could either work out great or it can be a complete failure of a pick.
Yeah,
like Antonio Brown and like your second to last pick or something.
I feel pretty good about Foles being the starter here eventually. I have to say.
Let's see here. What's going on in the basketballs today? What's this?
57-42 at halftime. It's 15.
All right. Lowry, Van Vliet, LeVert got going. Allen, TLC started scoring. All right. I'm doing all right. What else? You deal with the Texans at all? What's going on down there in Texans land? How they handling no DeAndre Hopkins?
I don't know. I'm not really into the Texans thing. Being in San Antonio, I don't really know what they're talking about.
Cowboys, not Texans.
Yeah, this is really Cowboys country, and I'm more tuned into the Cowboys. So I would imagine that they're not. I mean, I don't know. I think the one group text thread that I have of guys who are Texans fans, yeah, they weren't too stoked about that trade, but and they don't.
I wouldn't have been either. You think Watson's good enough to overcome the loss of DeAndre Hopkins?
100%. Listen, if David Johnson were to be a really good running back like he was 2 years ago, it's not they're not a bad team at all because they've lacked a running back for a long time now. You can make up for DeAndre Hopkins a little bit. Brandon Cooks is not bad if he can stay on the field. And David Johnson could give you an added weapon, but first and foremost, you got to figure out your offensive line anyway. So none of the other stuff really matters until you figure out your offensive line.
Yeah, they got Tunsil. They're spending some money on him. So I like that Texans offense. And if you get Watson, Will Fuller, right? He's going to have a hamstring injury like 2 or 3 times during the season. But for the 4 weeks he's on the field, he's going to put up some big games, right?
Will Fuller will have some monster best ball weeks for sure. So if Will Fuller's going to get his soft tissue injuries, which is going to happen eventually, and we know Brandon Cooks has a history of concussions and he has a hard time staying on the field sometimes, then we should probably be drafting their number 3 and number 4 guys a little more. Maybe
Cobb and Stills.
Yeah.
Cobb, I don't want
to.
Oh,
you want Cobb? You don't
want to give it all away. Cobb's one of my favorite late round wide receivers.
You like Cobb? Okay. Fair enough. I will go another direction. I go another direction with that.
I think if Dave Johnson's healthy, he was looking real good at the start of last year.
I mean, it's all about David Johnson right now. If he's back to being, if he feels like he's got something to prove and he's back to being, the really good David Johnson, and they could be a really solid offense. Take some of the pressure off of Watson. 2 picks. I'm up in 2 picks. Who are you going to take here?
I'm going to take Preston Williams. Dude was dominating before he got hurt. Looking healthy, no restrictions. Let's take him. Cam just went off the board. That's looking like a nice little upside play. If he stays healthy.
Okay. Go with some best ball home run hitters.
You got Robbie. I like it. What's the team looking like, Chop? Not bad. You're doing good.
Oh, man. Yeah, let's go with this route.
Was that Lazard? Yep.
They've really only got 2 guys that can catch the ball.
Should have snapped up Rodgers there. You could add Lazard and Rodgers.
I did not think I was going to be drafting Lazard.
I wish I had a Steelers receiver. I would pick up Roethlisberger here for sure. I might just do it anyway. Here's what I can do. I'm going to take Perryman. Chop, I'm on my way to a jet stack.
Yo. Good luck.
I got Crowder and Perryman. I've got 4 receivers on week 11 bye. That ain't good. I'm going to have a problem.
Yeah.
No week 11 wide receivers the rest of the way. There goes. I could not believe. How on earth is Austin Hooper still available in this league?
How overrated is.
That's what everyone on Twitter says.
No, not Austin Hooper, not the bye week thing. Like, are you willing to sacrifice an entire week of best ball if it gives you a better all-around team the other weeks? Meaning, like, if all your guys are on bye one week and you see it happening, but you're like, man, these are just the best players. Are you willing? Can you get away with like a total dud in 1 week? Just a total like.
So there's no doubt, right? Like, you don't want 7 of your players all out of 18, right? All on week 1. Or I got 4 on week 11, right? That's going to hurt me that week at receiver. Your best teams, right? In theory, they're the ones that spread out the bye weeks the best, along with getting really good players and stuff like that. That's going to be your best bet. I'm certainly not going to take another wide receiver that has a bye week of 11. I can guarantee you that on the way out. But yeah, if I had like 3 running backs on week 11 and a tight end was on week 11, I would not want that type of lineup construction.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you could just be taking zeros, right? Injuries, COVID, right? You're out there. 3 of your other receivers are out that week too. You're just taking zeros across the board. All right, S. Wolf's up. Dak and Breeze. Oh, he's got McCaffrey. Oh, he took Deshaun Jackson. Punk. He's got Mark Andrews. Galladay Moore. Swift Mac, right? He's got CMC scoring and then playing roulette with the other guys. Taking a look at everyone's team as we go through here. let's see, Mahomes, Goff. So you got Mahomes. You get Mahomes, Sammy Watkins stack. How far is that going to get him, Chop? Week 1?
I don't know. What do you think about this guy early in the draft took Tyreek at a normal position? You scared of Tyreek after leaving the field yesterday?
No, I would expect. I
No?
mean, we still got, what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks till the regular season
Man,
starts? It's creeping up.
that could be the beginning of
I got to start looking at those week 1 salaries.
That could be the beginning of the injury onslaught for Tyreek this year. Once you get one, you can't quite get over it.
What is he? Let me see. Has he had the hamstring injury? I think
that especially for a guy who relies on his speed, you get one of those, and you may not be right all year long.
Let's see here. Let's go to the injury history of Tyreek Hill. Oh, crap. Well, the spot. Hey, Chop, it's the way of the world where I always used to go for injuries behind the paywall now. So,
oh no, paywalls.
That's how DFS works nowadays. Everything. Hey, and I agree with it too. I think our RotoGrinders Premium is like half what it should be in my
opinion. Yeah. All right. Here you go. You're up.
All right. So I'm gonna take. I got 2 pretty good choices here. One of my running backs. I'm gonna take DeAndre Washington. I think he's in line for a reasonable amount of what should have been the Super Bowl MVP was going to get in the running / passing game over there in Kansas City. So he's going to score some touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, tell you what. I am going
running back is looking pretty grim. There's one guy. It doesn't make any sense for your team, but someone's scooping up Duke Johnson here in the next couple of picks. I can guarantee you
that. Yeah, it's a good handcuff, I guess. I'm going to go ahead. I got high expectations for this guy, so I'm going to take some Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I mean, you got Anderson. You got something going on there. The guy with DJ Moore and CMC is probably pretty pissed at you right now. But
that's another reason why you do it. You make the guys mad.
You know what I miss from the draft app? The ability to drop the poop emojis on people. They need to bring those emojis back on.
Yeah. Yep.
Crap! It's my pick. I better click something. Oh crap! This is not going to end well. I'm going to take Randall Cobb if I got it in quick enough. I did. All right. Hopefully he's not week 11. All right, week 8. Yeah, I like Cobb quite a bit here. I'm going to need a quarterback. I might get shut out on quarterback here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. I'll probably get a quarterback there in my next pick.
I've got 19 picks to wait to my turn. Man, this is brutal.
Do you think you have to stack in these? It's like if you're on like the DraftKings, I think it makes sense to stack over there with full PPR. You get the 300 100-yard bonuses, right? I think that makes a lot more. I don't think you have to stack on these. Although out of the blue last year, do you remember what won on draft last year? Chop the $1 million. You know what won? Miami Dolphins, Ryan Fitzpatrick stack out of nowhere.
Yeah. But, I mean, the year before that, you remember what won?
No, I don't.
It was those 2 weeks where Todd Gurley went for like 50 points each week.
You had to have him. Yeah, there's someone that gets. I'm sure that Ryan Fitzpatrick team had Derrick Henry too. Like he was the guy you pretty much had to have.
Like it's just. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I guess it gives you some upside, but
it definitely gives
not at the expense. I don't think of a superior player at that spot.
Yeah, I don't mind reaching like a round for a stack, but I'm not going to reach like 3 rounds to get my quarterback just to make sure I get him or anything like that.
Yeah. Is Devontae Freeman going to sign somewhere this year?
I would think so. The dude wants too much money. Teams want to pay him like $1 million. He wants like $4 million. So he's going to need to wait till the end of the season to get his $1 million. The final 4 games for a team to sign him to get his $1 million prorated. There's too many good young running backs in this league. Like the Vikings don't even want to pay Dalvin Cook, and I think Cook's one of the best. Like he could be one of the best. Like I think CMC. I think Saquon's probably the best running back. If I wanted a player on my team, it would be Saquon. I think Cook's pretty much right behind him with CMC in terms of like if I had to build a team around a running back, that's my guy. And the Vikings don't even want to give him chump change.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with teams are tough up against the cap. They don't know what's going to happen next year. Are they going to have fans? What the cap's going to be? So I guess I understand it, but the good players are getting paid no matter where they are on the field right now. I don't know why Dalvin Cook hasn't gotten his contract. Alvin Kamara too. That dude needs paid too.
Yeah, Kamara's a little different.
Yo, who just took Sam Darnold out of the blue,
15th pick,
out of nowhere, with no Jets receivers to screw me out of my Jet stack? What are you doing?
He got you.
Come on, I could have just slid you like $1, and you could have just let me get my Sam Darnold. Oh
Brutal.
Man, I'm tilting.
What about the Chargers? Is it going to be Tyrod or is it going to be the rookie Justin Herbert?
It's going to be both.
What? You think they're going to?
It's going to be Tyrod's the starter for sure.
Really? But will Herbert get him eventually?
I am tilting hard right here now. I'm just going to have to take a bunch of crappy quarterbacks now that I have no actual.
Get you some Dwayne Haskins. Get you some Dwayne Haskins. David Carr. Oof.
Who did that?
Brutal. Somebody watching the show.
Devin. Is he in YouTube? Where is he? Or is this just someone out there that was already in here beforehand? We're finding him. I'm looking him up on RotoGrinders right now. Nothing gets me tilted in these things more than that.
Okay, see, we're coming up.
Where'd you go there, Bryce? Oh, you're praying Antonio Gibson isn't the truth.
He's a good athlete. I just don't think he's a true right now bona fide handed off running back. And I think Peterson starts out the year running the ball a little bit. Eventually gives way to Bryce Love, and so at that point in the draft, I feel like I'm locking up some running back points every week, just about. Whoever the guy is, I'm going to lock up some running back points. There may be a week where I need those running back points, so I'll go ahead and lock up some points. It's hard to get that right now with the guys that are out there at running back.
I just I got me some Bryan Edwards. Maybe end of the season he's in there as the clear established, number 1 or number 2 wide receiver to pair with my Derek Carr, who probably won't even be the quarterback at the end of the season, right? So this is where I'm standing now, Chop.
Okay, well, I think you passed on a guy that I think is better than Bryan Edwards.
I mean,
that would have played into your team perfectly.
Who's that?
Let me take a look at your team real quick here.
I'll pull it up for everyone.
Yeah, you could have used him for sure. You took a shot on Bryan Edwards, a rookie wide receiver for the Raiders, right?
Yeah. I mean, I could have taken Tyrell. I don't believe in Renfro at all. He's gone.
Lynn Bowden. I'm going to throw that name out there to you. Lynn Bowden, all-purpose athlete. I think Gruden finds a way to get him on the field. It's just he can do everything. He played quarterback the last 8 or 9 games last year for Kentucky. He's listed at running back, so you get that upside there of guy listed at running back who's actually a receiver, could play all over the place. I think that's pretty good.
He's in the queue, Chop. He's in the queue.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad
I don't think I've drafted him once this year, but
it's worth a shot at this point whenever you consider what's on the board.
How many more picks we got here? 2 more picks each?
I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap
one.
up.
I got 2.
No, don't I have 2? I've only got 1 left.
I think so. I think that's how math works.
Let me see here.
Oh, no, you got 2.
I've got those 2 wraparounds.
Yeah, I'm bad at math. Never mind. All right, so let's see here. I got Wentz and Derek Carr. I guess I'm going to have to live with that. I did want like 3 quarterbacks. It just didn't end up working out that way. I wanted Sam Darnold with my Jet stack, and that didn't work out. I definitely need – I'm going to go 2 tight ends to round it out. Tight end is basically the only spot you can get a couple wide receivers, but you can get actual like fully expected to play 80% of the team snaps week 1 tight ends in the last pick. So I tend to get 1 tight end early. And then I like a couple of these cheap dart throw tight ends late in the draft because I think there's a couple of them. And you guys will see who I'm talking about here in just a second. Like I'll play 1. There's so many tight ends I like here. I think you could legit go no tight ends until your final 3 picks and still be good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Oof.
Oh, wow. This guy's only got 4 wide receivers. This guy must be on auto draft. He just auto drafted.
He went Renfro.
He's not winning. All right, so a couple I like. I'm going to throw one out here first. Kyle Rudolph. That dude is catching some touchdowns this year, and I'm just going to touchdown hunt with a couple of receptions. I expect a lot of 2 tight end. They said Justin Jefferson, the rookie, he's basically been demoted to the second team because he sucks right now. I'm expecting them to come out with a ton of 2 tight end sets to start the year. So give me some Kyle Rudolph. I know Irv Smith. I like him quite a bit too. He just costs a lot more, but I like him as one of the late tight ends. There's a bunch of decent tight ends still left here on the board.
Sure.
You got your boy Lynn Bowden. I like it. Back it up.
Oh man, I'm going. Take a shot on some rookie wide receivers and hope they can pan out.
AJ Green's already hurt. I mean, they're going to be playing T. Higgins or they're going to be playing on T come week 10. I'm going to imagine it's T. Higgins. A couple other tight ends, guys, I'll give them to you. Tyler Eifert for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know he gets hurt a lot, but the other guy that was competing, he's already gone. But the guy I like is C.J. Uzoma. I expect that Bengals offense. Joe Burrow, I think he's legit. I think he was the reason that LSU offense was great. Not some of the receivers, not the coaching. I think Joe Burrow was just the guy. I'm expecting that Cincinnati offense to really do good, specifically towards the end of the season. And Uzoma's, I mean, he's going to be playing like 80% of the snaps until he gets hurt, Chop.
Yeah. Okay. You got it. Is that it?
That's it. I think we're done here, Chop. I'm gonna pull up your team. What do you think here? Allen, Bridgewater. You got a lot of no avatar running backs. I like your receiver crew.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've never picked from that spot in the few drafts I've done, so it was different. I wasn't going in thinking Josh Allen or the Bills said. That didn't even really do it for me, but it just kind of fell there, and you just don't know. All you got to do is, I think the goal here is you want to put together a good team for this regular season so you get into that playoff. And once that happens, you just never know. You just never know. So in this case, maybe on that you get into the playoffs, and then all of a sudden that first week Bridgewater to Robbie Anderson is the big 3 touchdown thing, and I think that's what I've got, Bridgewater to Anderson, and that gets you through to the next week, and then the next week it's maybe Josh Allen coming back, going to Cole did I take Cole Beasley? Yeah, I got Cole Beasley. He has some good upside games last year. Maybe that gets you to the final week. So you just got to hope everything else pans out. So I don't know. I feel all right about it.
Thanks to everyone for playing along. If for some reason you just started watching, this is Underdog Fantasy. You can download it from your app store on either Apple or Android. You can also go to UnderdogFantasy.com. We are playing Best Ball. This in particular was Best Ball Mania. It's a $25 buy-in tournament with $1 million prize pool with $200,000 to first. If $25 is a little too pricey for you, They got a $5 bubble tournament that's basically the same thing, just a smaller buy-in. You can put up to 150 entries into any of them. You can play slow drafts. You can play fast drafts. You can play cash games on here too, and regular 12, 3-man, etc., from $1 to as high as you can imagine wanting to play. A great app for the makers of draft, and we appreciate all you guys watching the show today. Chop, thanks for filling in. I'm Britt, and we out, Chop.